So we're going to take a look at a few parts of a commencement speech that Arnold Schwarzenegger gave a couple years ago, and we'll talk about a couple parts that he brings up, some really important parts about what it takes to be successful, how he personally got a lot of his success, and how he tends to look at things, and how we can use what he's talking about.
The first rule of success is to have a vision. You see, if you don't have a vision of where you go, and if you don't have a goal where you go, you drift around and you never end up anywhere.
So this first part is so important about having a vision. And this is very different from having a goal. A goal is a lot more specific. It's a lot more pinpoint. His goal was to be a bodybuilder, but his vision was much larger. Think of the goal, for example, your goal could be a specific job that you'd like to get, but your vision is the lifestyle that job would create. You could picture your home, you could picture your family, your dog, your pool, your yard, that white picket fence, however you want it to look. That's your vision. The goal is within the vision. Okay, the goal is inside the vision, but he's talking about this overall vision that he had about what his life was going to be. And he says you really have a hard time going through life and being successful if you don't have this vision. You know, you just end up drifting around hoping that things get better, hoping that your life goes in a way that's, good. Lots of people do this, and you can go through life without a vision. You'll just kind of, drift along slowly but surely. Maybe things will go okay. Maybe they won't go so okay. But to have that a really successful life, we have to have that vision that we always keep our eye on. We always have in the back of our head that keeps us moving towards what it is that we really want.
I want to become a bodybuilding champion just like Reg Park. I want to get into movies just like Reg Park. And I want to make millions of dollars and be rich and famous just like Reg Park. Do you know how great it felt that I knew where I was going? Imagine the majority of people don't know where they're going. I knew where I was going.
I think this next part was so interesting, and it's something that does not get enough attention paid to it because it really is the motivation behind having the vision. And he talks about, do you know how good it feels to have that vision? Do you know how good it feels to know exactly where I'm going? And that's peace of mind and freedom. You no longer are wondering, what am I going to do? I don't know how to handle this. I don't know what I want. No. I want you to go back, watch this section again, and listen to how he says, I wanted to be a bodybuilder just like Reg Park. I wanted to be in movies just like Reg Park. I wanted to be rich and famous just like Reg Park. I promise you, that's not the first time he's ever said that. He probably said that to himself thousands of times when he was younger because that was his vision. It made perfect sense to him. So you can see that there's peace, there's freedom that comes with that vision. He was like, you have no idea how it feels. It's a feeling. It's something that you can look at and you say, man, I know what I'm doing. There's no longer any concern. So that's something we can always think about when we're like, well, why do I have a vision? Or why do I have to have a vision? Why? Because of the peace that comes with that, the freedom that comes with that to chase whatever it is you're looking for.
Don't listen to the naysayers. Everything I ever did, the thing that I heard out of people's mouth was, that's impossible. That can't be done. Or no. That is exactly what I heard, and of course I proved to the people that it can't be done.
This next part is so important, so valuable. Don't listen to the naysayers, and they'll be everywhere. Here's the funny thing about don't listen to the naysayers. Most of the time, the people that think you can't do it are some of the closest people to you in your life. See, it's easy for someone who's not too close to you to say, yeah, go for it, man. Why not? Give it a shot. Let's see what happens. It's the people that are close to you who think they know you the best who are the ones that are very willing to say, you can't do that, that's too hard. I mean, imagine who Arnold Schwarzenegger was when he was 12 years old, living in Austria. In his mind, he was thinking, unless I leave, the only life I have to offer here is to be a farmer or a mechanic or something. He was thinking he was stuck in this particular life. Who wants to be stuck in a life that they don't want to have? So he created this vision, right? But I'm certain when he had this vision, there were people in his life that were telling him, that's crazy. A bodybuilder? His father was a police officer. I can't imagine. He was like, yeah, that sounds like a fantastic idea, right? You know that there were people very close to him telling him, come on, that's silly, a bodybuilder. There's no money to be made in bodybuilding. But see, to him, it was bigger than that, and he didn't listen to that. And he made an incredible life because why? He did not listen to the people that were telling him that he couldn't do it, that were telling him it was impossible.
I'm a strong believer of what Nelson Mandela said, that everything is always impossible until someone does it. Well, I'm going to be the one that said to myself, I'm going to do it and I'm going to show it to them. Maybe it has never been done before. That's perfectly fine with me. But I'm going to do it. And I did not listen to the naysayers.
And finally, this last part, he uses a quote from Nelson Mandela, and it's just about the idea that something being impossible until somebody does it. Could you imagine if nobody did anything because it hadn't been done already? It sounds so ridiculous. We would never have any kind of progress in the world. There'd be no iPhone. There'd be no YouTube. There'd be no cars. There'd be no streets. Progress happens because we do things deemed impossible. Now, does that mean you need to go out and invent an iPhone or a new type of video recording? Of course not. Impossible can simply mean what hasn't been possible in your family, what hasn't looked possible in your life to this point. So impossible is just something that people say for now. Right now it might seem impossible, but does that mean it's impossible forever? God, no, of course not. There are things that we can lead to, we can work to, and eventually make possible. He wasn't a bodybuilder in a day or a year. It took him years, if not decades, to become a real champion, Mr. Olympia. So what may seem impossible now, what may not have been done now, can absolutely be done over time. I think we can all look at some of the things that Arnold Schwarzenegger says in this video and say, how can I use this moving forward? Can I create a vision? How do I want my life to look? Who am I going to listen to along the way? How am I going to feel knowing that I have this vision and I know exactly what I'm going towards? And what does it mean to me when someone says it's impossible? Do I think it's possible? If you have a vision, if you understand that feeling, if you're working towards the impossible, anything is possible.